to another Maker Monday. My name's Susie and I'm joined today by a very special guest. This is Jack.
Good morning, everybody.
Jack joins us from Art Club Dub. Now, Jack's here today to do a little bit of a special Maker Monday with everybody. Jack's going to be doing some drawing with us today. Now, Jack, we've got a very special event coming up in Dubbo called the Young Archies. The Young Archies can be viewed at the Western Plains Cultural Centre in May, but before May, from the 1st to the 30th of April, you can actually enter your very own portrait drawing into the Young Archies competition. Jack, can you tell us a little bit about the Young Archies?
Well, the Young Archies are a response to the big Archies, if you like, the older Archies, which is the Archibald Prize, which has been going now for over 100 years. And that's the one that gets all the attention from the media and the galleries. So the Young Archies are a response to, it's an invitation for young artists to submit a portrait of somebody that they know.
Yeah. So someone that you know, someone that you admire, this is your chance to get their portrait into the exhibit. Okay, so let's get started, Jack.
Thank you. So, portraiture is about making pictures of people. That's a famous one. You might know the artist, or you might know the name of that one. You might know this person too, and it's done in a modern era, in a modern style. This is called pop portraits. Here is a portrait that is made by hand, just simply with coloured pencils and paper. Here's another pop portrait, and you might recognise this person too. She's a pop star. More pop stars with more colour. Here's an older portrait, just a drawing by a famous artist. Here's a less famous artist, but done in the cartoon style. Here's a famous person, but done just with lines. Scribbly lines are okay. Here's a pop portrait of a pop artist. Another one, and more pop portraits. But I'm going to talk today, and I'm going to draw for you how the shape of the face goes and what the importance are about the position of the eyes and the ears. So when we're making pictures of people, the thing that we're looking for, the thing that we're hoping to discover is the character of the person. Now that'll come about anyway, and sometimes there'll be some surprises. So if you think a person is happy, we could do a smiley face, but you know, it's a bit limited because not everybody's happy in the same way. Or if the person's serious, you might squint their eyes, and that's okay too. But I'm going to show you a couple of things that might help us to make the face, the painting, the drawing, a little bit more easy to reveal that character. So there's a couple of things about a subject called anatomy. Let me say that a person's head is made up of a big circle and a small circle. Now you think, well, that doesn't look like a person because there's no eyes in it. But that is actually the shape, the basic shape of somebody looking straight on, because the back part of our head is much wider than the front part of our head. And we in fact will find that the eyes sit along there. Now that's surprising too, because most people think that the eyes are at the top of our face, which they are, but our face is not at the top of our head. So once we've established that, we can then determine, of course, in most people, the nose and the mouth are in the middle, and the eye, everything else is on two sides. So once we've determined that, we can draw the eyes. Let me show you how the best way to draw an eye, or think about an eye. An eye is like a leaf, so it nearly always is like a leaf shape. Now, that's how it will be. So if we draw two leaf shapes slightly further, apart in the middle, so we go up and around, and another leaf shape there, you can see that our face is beginning to form. So, looks a bit scary at this stage, but of course we rub all these other guidelines out. Then you will find that the nose fits about there. We don't need to draw much of the nose. Most people, because it seems like the nose has two sides, most people draw the sides of the nose, but the sides of the nose are not very important in a face, in a picture of a face. So there's a little curvy line here. And if that's all you do, then that will be fine. Sometimes if the light is coming from that side, there will be a line on this side of the nose, but that's about it. That's really about it. I'm going to put some pupils in here. And the pupils are not in the middle either. The pupils, or the color, the iris and the pupils will come down in that fashion. They won't be circles in the middle, so they won't be like that. That's a bit spooky. So, unless of course your portrait is spooky, you can do it like that. Finally, the mouth will be somewhat higher than halfway between there. Now, there's a formula. Some people's mouths are lower, depends a fair bit. And the mouth is best described by a kind of an S shape. Crimp up if the person is happy, and we can have little smiley marks like that, so you can see some character beginning to form there. I'm going to rub out some of my marker lines now, and you can see that my character, my portrait, is beginning to have some character. Next thing is the ears, next main component of anybody's feature, and the ears are not so important as you think. They're really interesting shapes, but not so interesting in a portrait painting or drawing. The ears will fall, surprisingly enough, because everybody thinks our ears are pretty high. They're not. They will fall somewhere between the nose and the eye line. So you can see this is how we build the shapes necessary to make a portrait. I'm going to take out some more of my guidelines and start to build in the shape. Maybe our character has a square chin. Maybe that's a strong person, strong personality, with a square chin. Maybe our dad, perhaps. So we got some eyebrows that are really important. They will fall just over there, and that would be those kinds of shapes. And if the person is surprised, the eyebrows will be high. And so we're beginning to form a person. Next thing is hair. Now hair sits actually like a cloth on top of this part of the bony part of somebody's head, and it'll flop down if they have long hair, but it'll be slightly over that mark. It won't be on it and in it. And I'll remind you about how unimportant the ears are, because if the person has lots of hair, most of the ears will be obscured. Now I'm going to rub out a few more of my guidelines, and you can see that's how we make pictures of people.